All right, welcome everybody to the 19th season of the Summer Gazebo Readings. Thank you all for coming out. We're delighted to have this event again this year. It's again co-sponsored by the Oceanside Kiwanis. We have wonderful Kiwanians there in the back. Let's give them a round of applause. And Eric Abbey, the president of Kiwanis, was here earlier. He actually did all the setup, and then he had to go. And it's it's from the co-sponsored with the Friends of the Oceanside Library, and we have members of the Friends of the Oceanside Library here. That the board is here, and of course, this also ultimately benefits the Oceanside Library. We have our wonderful director, Chris Mara, is in the back as well, along with our brand new board president, Janet Pearsall. So, all right, as always, I want to just take a moment out, if we could. I'm not going to do this the pledge tonight, but what I do want to do is we've lost some members of our community since we last met in August, and so if we could just have a moment of silence in their memory, I would appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so we've got a full season planned, and you'll notice, especially I know there's some poets here who were like, well, I didn't hear from you. And the answer is, as always, we do sometimes, I leave a lot of the back end of the schedule open in case of that dreaded R word, which is not to be spoken here on Schoolhouse Green. As important is, the most important people, of course, are you all who show up here week after week. We appreciate that. The poets and authors who come and read for us, obviously they are extraordinarily important. And what's also important for us are our sponsors. Now in the back, you will see a list of the people who are sponsors. We've picked up a few more since this went to print. You'll see them more this week. There are still sponsorships open, so please jump in. Half the money goes to Kiwanis. Kiwanis uses that money to send underprivileged kids to summer camp and for other children-related programs here in town. The Friends of the Oceanside Library use it for literary programs at the library. So the money circulates back, and it's all for good causes. Couple of other housekeeping things. If you need to use the facilities, please be careful across the street. The firehouse will let us do it. We have some people joining us on Zoom. There might be some people in a waiting room. I'll let them in as I leave here, leave the stage. And we have the 50, 25, 25 in the back. The way that works is this: 50% of the money of the pot goes to the charity funds. 25% goes to tonight's winner, and 25% gets rolled over and gets drawn at the end of August at the final one. So that pot gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So again, please avail yourself. There's still plenty of snacks and things in the back, and avail yourself of that. I have to tell you formally, because we do have a school board member here, that you are not allowed to have alcohol on Schoolhouse Green. I will also tell you that I am not searching your I am not searching your water bottles. Just no red Solo cups, please. Okay. So without any further ado, she's been with us year in and year out over this 2 decades that we've been doing this. She's an Oceanside resident. She's always been wonderful. And so kicking off the 19th season, ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Rowe.
Good evening. Thank you, Tony. It's so beautiful out here. I'm glad we can all be together and celebrate this beautiful day given to us by Mother Nature. But I want to remind you that Mother Nature isn't always the most benevolent creature. She has her strict rules that should be obeyed, which is illustrated by this ancient Indian tale that I would like to share with you tonight. The Brahmin, the tiger, and the jackal. A Brahmin was walking out in the heat of the noonday sun on the parched desert earth, oblivious to that hot sun pouring over him because he was contemplating the divine, the laws of the Brahmin. When suddenly his concentration was broken by the yowling of some creature who seemed to be angry and in pain at the same time, he looked around and saw a big hole in the earth And he walked over to the edge, and there at the bottom of a pit was a tiger, growling, angry, pacing back and forth, yowling in pain. The tiger looked up and saw the Brahmin. And he said, "Oh, brother Brahmin, please, you must help me out of this pit. I cannot scale the steep, sandy sides. Help me, please. The hunters have made this pit. I didn't see it. I fell in it, and they will be back to put me in a cage. Please help me." The Brahmin looked down at the tiger and said, "Well, if I do get you out, you will eat me." Oh, well, of course I wouldn't eat you because you would have been my savior." "Yes," said the Brahmin, "but that is your nature. I know it well. I'm afraid that you would eat me if I saved you." "But I promise you," said the tiger. "I give you my word." "Your word? You do promise?" "Yes, I do. I do. Please help me." The kind-hearted Brahmin decided to help. "What should I do?" "Well," said the tiger, "there's a cove of trees behind you. Just go to a long, low-lying branch and take it and bend it down over the pit, and I can grab it and scramble up." So the Brahmin did just that, and down went the branch, and up scrambled the tiger. And when he got there, the Brahmin was shocked to see how big he was, but he bowed and said, "Very well," and turned and started to walk away. And the tiger said, Brother Brahmin, I am very hungry after all of that pacing and screaming, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to eat you after all." "No, no," said the Brahmin, "you can't. You promised. You gave me your word." "Yes, I know, but you said yourself, it is my nature. I can't help myself." But you actually gave me your word even after I told you, yes, it would be your nature, and it's not fair. You promised. But it is the nature." All right," said the tiger. "I will give you one chance. I will give you 30 minutes, the time it takes for the sun to go from this point to that, to find another creature in nature who would agree with you, because all of nature should be against you." Well, the Brahmin looked around, and there wasn't a living creature in sight. I mean, only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun. And then he looked at the path in front of him, Mother Earth, after all, and he addressed the path. Oh, good Earth, can you help me?" "What is it?" said the dirt. Well, you see, woe is me. I set a tiger free, and now he wants to eat me, don't you know? He said he wouldn't. I really think he shouldn't, but I need you to tell him so." "And why would I do that?" said the dirt. "It is in his nature." Yes, it is. I know, but he promised. It's not fair." "Fair," said the path. "Fair? You talk about fair? Look at me. People walk on me all day long. Heavy people trot and tramp on me. They roll their heavy carts on me and leave ruts in my skin. They spit on me. I ask you, is that fair? Accept your fate and be done with it." That wasn't what the Brahmin wanted to hear. He looked around to see if there was anyone else he could appeal to, and well, of course, the trees were right there. And he went up to the tree, the very tree that he had used the branch, and he said, oh, tree, listen to me." "What is it?" said the tree. "Woe is me," said the Brahmin. "I set the tiger free, and now he wants to eat me, don't you know? He said he wouldn't. I really think he shouldn't, but I need you to tell him so." "Well," said the tree, "it is in his nature to eat you. You should know that." Well, yes," said the Brahmin, "but he promised twice that he wouldn't, and it is not fair." "Fair, fair," said the tree. "What on earth is fair? Look at me. People come all day long. They use me. They prop themselves up. They sit against me. They take advantage of my shade from the hot sun. They pick my fruit without so much as a please or a thank you. They cut my arms, my branches, to make their chairs and carts and whatever. Sometimes they leave nothing but a stump. Is that fair? Now quit your sniveling and be done with it. Oh dear. Oh dear. The sun was almost at the point, the end of the time the tiger had given him. What could he do? He saw a shadow creep through the trees. He ran after it. He found Brother Jackal. Jackal, Jackal, he said, please come and help me. What is it? Said the Jackal. Oh, woe is me. I set a tiger free, and now he wants to eat me, don't you know? He said he wouldn't. I really think he shouldn't, but I need you to tell him so. Oh, okay, said the Jackal. So you want to eat a tiger? No. The tiger wants to eat me. Why would the tiger want to eat you? Well, he promised he wouldn't. Okay, so what happened that he wanted to eat you? Where did you find a tiger? He was at the bottom of the pit. And what were you doing in a pit with a tiger? Said the Jackal. No. Now, the tiger was hearing this as he was licking his lips, getting very impatient. And he came over and he said, no, I was in the pit, and the Brahmin foolishly rescued me, even though he knew it was in my nature to eat him. And I'm very hungry, so let's get on with it. Okay, so you and the Brahmin were hungry for lunch in a pit. No, said the tiger, getting very impatient indeed. Oh, help me, said the Jackal. I can't understand this with my feeble brain. Come and show me what was going on. So they trotted quickly back to the pit. And they looked into it, and the Jackal said, now, what were the two of you doing there? And the tiger was giving up all his patience. No, we weren't both there. I was there. Well, would you please show me? Okay, quick, and be done with it. And the tiger jumped back into the pit. And he looked up. And the Jackal looked at the Brahmin. And the Brahmin looked at the Jackal. They nodded and went their way. The Jackal back into the trees. The Brahmin turned and continued his walk, once again contemplating the divine, the laws of the Brahmin, and this time also the laws of nature. Thank you.
Elizabeth Rowe. Great job. Wonderful. Well, it wouldn't be the gazebo if we didn't have a fire alarm going, right? That's okay. It's just hope everybody is okay. All right. So now we bring up Melissa. I don't think you have read here before, have you? All right. So bringing up now, Melissa Longo.
Oh, thank you. I'm very short.
Picture. Hear that through there?
Can anyone hear? Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate that. Elizabeth, you're wonderful. And I can't wait to hear the other two performers. My name is Melissa Longo. This poem is called Memories. Lasting effects on the brain. Smells and tastes, buttered noodles. Laughter abounds, seashores, harvesting seashells and crabbing, steam and cooking, beaches and helping each other for the next family meal, along with a new artistic endeavor enriched by my late grandfather. Memories of wanting to return to a time where things were simple. Dreams of paradise with my family. sunshine and laughter, love and seashells. Oh, thank you. There's more. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody. I'm gonna have to fix this because I'm not as sure as I thought I was. Okay, good. This was one of the prompts given by the purple poet, J.R. Turek. This one is called creatology. We're just creatologists. Simple, right? We create words, wonder, words and tingle together in sentences, meaning. This one is called shared. A friend posted, today crying is a poem. Simple words, poignant statement. A feeling, bombarding my eyes, hoping to be one in allyship. Sometimes I can't help but feeling, amplifying my need to help. But I also know that I don't live your life. But I love your life and that you live. Oh yeah, that I'm like, oh, who wrote that? Oh yeah, that was me. This is some haikus that I've called Poets Matter. All poets have a way, a beautiful, wonderful way with words, incredible art. Times have created, thoroughly eradicated with words hidden. So many years, so many people, so little has been done. In a month's time, I will grow and become rich. Agape has AGAPE. Within, I become driven to probe love in many forms. Humanity teases immortality and death, still a mystery life. And sometimes with my poetry, I do impromptu. We're all just wondrous beings looking and being beauty. We're community, we're for, and we're with each other. We must remember this when times are tough. We always have words to say, but sometimes we don't know what they are. But we do feel it, for sure. For June, this is such a cold day. I should have brought a blanket filled with love and warmth. My kalimba, even though I say that it's mine, I bought it from Amazon Prime. The wind really liked that poem, I think. I wonder when it will rain, and I wonder when we'll see the sun again. I feel like I could drop a new hit, and I'm ready for a new picture. It's exciting to meet new and familiar faces who have different families involved. Sometimes I need to read a poem again and again to make sure I got it right the first time. To be prepared like so. I still don't know how I'm getting these words out. I played the kalimba because I couldn't play the ukulele. Next time, when I'm here, I want everyone to have a kalimba. We'll have fun with that. I have to have 10 more minutes. I want to have the whole day just doing this, nothing else. The tinkling of the keys reminds me of children laughing and playing. Let us dance and be free and feel so relieved that we made it to another day. Let us laugh and believe that we are the tiger, the jackal, and the Brahmin. But don't be like the scorpion. Scorpion cannot be trusted. We live and love. And with these words, I still feel a breeze on my loved ones that came before me. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much. My name is Melissa Longo. I'm a poet and kalimba player. Have fun.
You can unplug it.
Okay. Thank you. Once I saw you, I listened.
All right, Melissa Longo. Okay, so next week, we have Tom Fallon, Barbara Novak, Jack Zappos, and Lloyd Abrams. Another strong lineup. All right, without any further ado, she's read here a bunch of times. She lives here in Oceanside. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rohini, Ramanathan. Got it? Got the right height here? Go get it.
Thank you. I feel like a frozen block of flesh. Enough said. My late mother's shawl was in the car, so she must be watching over me. And my sister is watching from Dallas. Hi, sis. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Lend me your ears, please. Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. How do you spell wrong? R-O-N-G, right? I doubt that the Broadway comedy, The Play That Goes Wrong, can hold a candle to my 2023 cross-country train trip, which I call my Mishaps and Miracles vacation. Can a trip be both a nightmare, although with miraculous happy endings, and a dream come true? Mine, from May 30 to June 13, was precisely that kind of oxymoronic adventure. It started off smoothly. At Penn Station, we located our Amtrak car, found our cabin. Once we started moving along the way, the Hudson River scenery was breathtaking. With our windows facing west, we watched the sunset paint the water gold. Houses along the river winked and twinkled. It was like being in a fairyland. That night in our cabin, the bottom berth sagged. My husband Bala, thank you for coming, an engineer from a top institute, had refused the attendant's help. I got this, the macho man had said. The result? SAG Central. We arrived 2 hours late in Chicago, our connecting station to our next stop, East Glacier National Park. In Chicago, I was excited to meet my Google Meet friends in flesh for the first time. One friend drove Bala to see the famous Cloud Gate, the Bean, on Michigan Avenue, a must see. Years earlier, I had seen it. Later, we boarded the train to Glacier Park. In the elegant car, we enjoyed a proper 3-course meal with booze and soft drinks and fellow travelers, some charming, some less so. At Glacier Park, miracle number one. No fridge in the hotel, but they had a vintage, bread box sized ice chest they were willing to lend me, a lifesaver for my perishables. Our cabin overlooked the Lewis Range, a dense forest, and the train station. The lodge itself, built in 1913, was a marvel of wood, architecture, and old charm. The next day, we took an 8-hour guided tour that rose to 7,000 feet. The views, stunning. The many glaciers area, beyond words. St. Mary's Falls, a vision to be preserved forever. Back at the lodge, we explored the surroundings, an enchanted landscape shaped by Mother Nature. The next morning, June 3rd, 7:30 a.m., the phone rang. Bad news. The caller from Amtrak announced ever so politely, "Your train tonight is canceled." No clue when the next one might come. This was a gut punch. We extended our lodge stay by one night for now. I reminded myself there are worse places to be stranded in than paradise. Still, I wanted to leave paradise ASAP. Checked flights to Eugene, Oregon, as our current destination was first Corvallis, Oregon, and then Mapleton, Oregon. I found a couple on June 4th from Kalispell Airport, 80 miles away from the lodge, to Eugene, 45 miles south of Corvallis. Now that we had an extra day, we went hiking with the intent of booking the tickets from the trail. Patchy Wi Fi soured this bad idea. We could get back to the lodge only at 4 p.m. Luckily, plane seats were still available. Ironically, I was required to cancel our Amtrak leg from Glacier to Portland, though in theory, Amtrak had canceled it. Learned that the ride to the airport would cost a whopping $275. Under the circumstances, this was the least of my concerns. But that evening, miracle number two occurred. Sam at the desk informed us that the hotel shuttle would be headed to Kalispell Airport the next day. We could hitch a ride, no charge. But that evening, no, I'm sorry, the Denver to Eugene flight was smooth. My dear friend of 45 years, now living in Corvallis, picked us up at the airport. The visit was warm and wonderful. The next morning, in a rented SUV, Bala and I drove to Mapleton, Oregon, population under 1,000, to visit Rick and Carol, whom we had met on a cruise in 2022 and had become fast friends. Our trip had been designed around this very visit. We couldn't resist their heartfelt invitation extended to us on the ship. The drive along the coast was jaw-dropping. Sand dunes, rugged rocks, crashing waves, nature's handiwork. Rick and Carol's home, perched on the Siusla River, modest from the front, was anything but on the expansive inside, which was a labyrinth of hidden staircases, cozy nooks, artistic touches. It was built in 1928. Their garden, a riot of flowers, vegetables, and one majestic tree, made you want to roll around the lawn like puppies in fresh snow. We soaked in Rick and Carol's warmth, their stories, their hospitality. The next day, off to Eugene, 45 miles east, to catch our train to Sacramento. When the train arrived, the conductor blocked us from boarding. Our cabin number 9 in car 1130 had been marked canceled. I guessed that when I canceled the Glacier to Portland leg, Amtrak had inadvertently scratched the Eugene to Sacramento bit as well. Just 5 seconds, I want to add this, which is not here. I got on the train, I said, I'm not getting off until you get me a seat. And I had a whole circle of other passengers, travelers supporting me, and I said, thank you. A small miracle followed, though. The people who had replaced us canceled too. Now the cabin became ours again. At this point, an atheist would have become a believer. I profoundly thanked Saint Christopher, the supposed patron saint of travelers. Next morning, because of the delay, we were able to enjoy a continental breakfast on the train at 6:30 a.m. The scheduled arrival time and the breakfast start time. If the train was not delayed, we wouldn't have had any breakfast. In Sacramento, we stayed at a charming B&B for 2 nights, then on to the must-see Yosemite National Park and Lake Tahoe by another rental SUV. Each attraction more incredible than the other. On our way to the airport for the final flight home, I had a nagging feeling that I had left something behind at the B&B, but was too lazy to check my luggage for confirmation. Back home in Oceanside, indeed, 5 pieces of my favorite clothing missing. I called the B&B, they had them. They mailed them to me. I reimbursed the postage. A notorious misplacer that I am, I considered this lost and found incident yet another miracle. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Kivani's Club and the Oceanside Friends. And I'm so proud to be an Oceansider. Thank you.
Dr. Rowe. Okay, I'm going to bring up our final reader of the evening. He's read here before, but since actually, and I never do much in the way of biographies here because we have him in the e-blast and we have him in the program. But James, since I think the last time he read here, has opened up a bookstore out east and has wonderful events. And he is also and I want to make sure I get this right, the National Beat Poet Laureate, which means this is the second National Poet Laureate that we've had here. Our first season, long before she was the Poet Laureate, Ada Limon read here. Actually, it was a rainy day and I used the R word. And she actually read up here on the gazebo itself. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, our great friend, James Wagner. There you go. Nonsense. Beautiful. It's 82 degrees.
Thank you, Tony.
So
though I actually have featured here since the bookstore opened, but I wasn't here last year, but the year before I was. So, yeah, that's okay. It happens. But I do have a new book that I'm reading from. So there's newness going on here. But thank you, Tony, for inviting me back. Thank you to the litany of organizations that my Alzheimer's brain is not going to remember all of them. Kiwanis Club, Friends of the Library, all that. And thank you to the other three features. Really great stuff. So this book is called All In, and it's all poems about poker, because I'm also a poker player. Not a very good one lately, but for a while I was pretty good at it. So a little different than my normal style for those who remember, like the Dairy Barn, crappy customer poems or whatever. There was one card. There was one card in the entire deck that could save him. Yet, even if it saved him, he lost before the card was ever dealt. Poem. I think I'm going to do some depressing ones and try to come back with some good ones. Probably. Lower the expectations and try to raise them. Weekends were hard when he couldn't get a free room at the casino hotel like he could on the weekdays. He went on poker binges Saturday and Sunday, 36-hour sessions if he had the stamina, sometimes sleeping in his clunker mobile in the parking garage. The reward points from the long sessions providing free meals. Most people at the poker table had no idea that he did 3 tours in the sandbox, and this was all that he had to come home to. Anybody know what a bad beat jackpot is? Well, the poem kind of explains it. I have been at the table when the bad beat jackpot had hit. A hand so unlucky, they had to invent a prize to lessen the pain. Usually 4 of a kind over 4 of a kind, and the jackpot serves as a reward for losing a hand you should have won. I'm glad I've only been there once when this happened, because after too many times, I might forget. Outside of a poker table, there's no feel-good artificial reward for losing a hand that should have been mine. Valentine's Day poker. 2 a.m. on February 14th, he flipped over the Queen of Hearts, flush to the king. As the chips were being pushed across the table in his direction, he noticed the fade on his finger where the wedding ring had been, remembering luck is not, and never has been, his lady. The safe bet. 137 applicants for 2 fellowship positions. After college, graduate school, and $120,000 in debt makes going all in with my 2 pair at a full poker table look like the safer bet. All right, try to lift the mood now. College friends. 50 college friends gave $100 each for half of his World Series of Poker buy-in. When he made the final table, the $100 investment was worth over $30,000 each. True story. Name brand. I just don't get it, I heard her say in the corner of the cigar lounge after I left a several-hour-long poker session. How can people spend so much money on who has this card or that card? She laughed to herself, her own private joke, as she reached to grab her lighter from her $1,200 brand name purse. You would think that since I published and formatted this, I would actually know where my poems are. Aha. A real game. In a real game of Texas Hold'em, the odds of a royal flush are 649,739 to 1. A far cry from the movie scenes where the hero always gets it in the last hand when everybody else is all in at just the right time. How I wish. I've had one royal flush, spades, in almost 20 years at the tables, at a low level game, while I was waiting for a higher table. And since no one else had anything, I made a total of $13. And sadly, ruined no supervillain's evil plans in the victory. He used to play poker full time, professionally. Now, he sells a course online on how you can play poker professionally full time for only $699, reduced to only $99 if you get the coupon by joining his mailing list. A real job. Sometimes at the poker table, you can follow all the rules, know all the odds, make all the right calls, and still lose. And they say poker isn't a real job. Investors. I see investors in the stock market put in large sums of money and wait years to know if it all paid off. I see poker players at the tables put large sums of money in the pot and see their results in a few minutes. Rounders. So many poker players of my generation trace at least a portion of their interest in the game poker back to the Matt Damon film Rounders, a 1998 movie telling the tale of a law student in New York City involved in the underground poker circuit. Many 90s kids had a familiarity with poker, of course, from old Western movies and games at home with the family. But the idea that there were people in that era making their living on it, and the fact that it was, in fact, a game of skill, not luck, opened a lot of eyes and changed a lot of things. Poker is no longer the same as it was before that movie, but then again, what is? When I think about that movie, I look at New York City in an entirely different era, one where smoking was allowed indoors, one where a bar would leave the bottle because you were a regular and could be trusted, one where a student could afford an apartment, a time when not everyone's eyes were glued to their phones at all times, a vibe and a soul and a time that doesn't exist anymore. Like many hands of poker that came and went in a drama between two gunslingers, only a footnote in a history book, a folk song, a scene in a movie, or the memories to recount the tale. And I'll wrap it up with this one. What happened to the days? What happened to the days where being a poker player was a point of excitement and pride? The days where I could drive by a poker room while on vacation or a business trip, drop in for a couple hours and walk away with an extra $600, $700, $800, use it to buy a fancy dinner and impress my colleagues and contacts. What happened to the days where I could look a fellow in the eye and go all in against his flush draw when I had nothing, knowing my nerves of steel would make him toss his potentially winning hand into the muck? What happened to the days when I wasn't afraid to drive to a poker room with no hotel room reserved, binge at the game for 12 to 16 hours, take a nap in my car, and do it all over again, using the points for free food, eating right at the table? What happened to the days where the cards I was dealt, each hand felt exciting, hopeful, a new chance every time? The cards don't much matter when you don't play the hands you're dealt anymore. I don't know what happened to those days. It seemed like one day, those days, were just gone. No build-up, no philosophical exposition, no movie montage. I'm not sure when it happened, how it happened. I didn't see it happen. I just see this man whose reflection I see in the mirror every morning, now sitting in my seat at the poker table. The game less interesting, his mind filled with responsibilities, his focus and efforts spent elsewhere, thinking to himself that after enough games, no combination of cards seems new anymore. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Tony.
James Wagner. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. So now we're going to pull the 50, 25, 25. Tonight's pot, the winner is $25. And what we do is I pull this one. Not looking. Not looking. Rita. Rita wins $25. Now I'm going to pull another 4. You win nothing tonight, but you do go into the grand prize in August. So you have a chance of winning the big money. And let's see. Winning nothing tonight is Chris Mara, whose birthday it is tomorrow. And Joe Cone. Kirsch. Merrill. And 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. And the non-winner is Janet Pearsall. You won nothing tonight. End of August, you might win a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much coming out for the start of our 19th season. Please come back again. We'll love to see you. Thank you.